I kind of love it when like smaller character actors in the business start to get the recognition they deserve and start to kind of become a household name, or at least start to become a household name in a way. And you can say to yourself, I remember I liked that guy before anybody knew who they were. Very hipster thing to say, but nonetheless. One of those guys for me is Paul Walter Hauser, who I think has just been incredible. The part where he really blew up for me was his role in I, Tonya. Him playing that dude, yes, I did work for the Secret Service. It's Margot Robbie's movie for sure, and Sebastian Stan is great in it too. But the parts that delighted me the most watching this movie was Hauser. And then, of course, he won an Emmy for Blackbird. And now he just signed a couple of big things because he is, number one, going to be Chris Farley in a Chris Farley biopic that Josh Gad is going to direct. And then number two, a movie that I can't even explain why I'm as excited for it as I am, but Naked Gun coming back with Liam Neeson, who I think is entering into a new phase of his career that I think he's going to be even better at, which is comedy, than he was with his action stuff. Anyway, the folks over at the Hollywood Reporter writing this. Paul Walter Hauser is ready to fight crime alongside Liam Neeson in the reboot of Naked Gun. Hauser is set to play Captain Ed in director Akiva Schaffer's untitled new Naked Gun film that Paramount Pictures plans to release on July 18th of 2025. George Kennedy previously played the role. Now,
I love George Kennedy.
He was so good in those movies. He was so good.
Yep.
It goes on to write, Hauser joins the cast that includes Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson. While the plot details are under wraps, the Hollywood Reporter previously reported that Neeson will play bumbling detective Frank Drebin. And of course, we know that. Now, earlier this week, THR reported that New Line Cinema landed the forthcoming Chris Farley biopic from director Josh Gad that stars Hauser as the late Saturday Night Live standout. Hauser's other prominent credits include Apple TV series Blackbird, for which he won an Emmy, I, Tonya, Black Klansman. He was also amazing in Black Klansman. And of course, he was great in Richard Jewell, Cruella. Just very quietly gone on to amass a really impressive resume for himself. And I just think the guy is fantastic. By the way, we were just talking about Cobra Kai. He was in Cobra Kai.
He was.
He just small part for a little bit, but he popped up there in Cobra Kai as well.
For a couple seasons, maybe 3.
So I love the guy, and I couldn't be happier for him that he's kind of breaking out this way. Anyway, Jeff, which of the two is the more significant to you? The Chris Farley biopic, joining Liam Neeson in Naked Gun? Which one of these will be the bigger films, and what do you think of the trajectory he's on right now?
I mean, Paul was my up and comer of the month. I am one of those hipsters who will say, "Oh, I saw it first." I've been a huge fan of Paul since I, Tonya. He blew me away, and it's been incredible to watch his rise in the industry and to see the directors who want to work with this guy, who doesn't, maybe fit the conventional like leading man looks. I thought he was great in Richard Jewell too. The Chris Farley thing I think is a huge deal. That could be an awards contender. I don't know if I necessarily see it though. I mean, as much as I believe in Paul and think he's a great actor, I don't know that he'd be like top of mind for Chris Farley. I actually think that the George Kennedy role in the Naked Gun reboot, like he's going to come in and absolutely crush that. I think that I really like that. The Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson, like the way that project is coming together, I think it's off to a nice start. But with Chris Farley, I'm just nervous, right? With Josh Gad directing, it's his first time. Farley is just such a unique, one-of-a-kind guy. It's kind of a no-win assignment, but I also am hard-pressed to like name someone better,
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
Uh-oh.
Because that's the exact thought that came to my head.
Okay.
Like, I looked at him and I thought, do I see Chris Farley? And I thought to myself, not really.
Yeah.
But then I asked myself, well, who can I see playing Chris Farley? I got nothing.
Jack Black.
Jack
too old.
Jack Black's too old.
Too old.
But I literally, there was only one Chris Farley. And I don't know that let's put it this way. I agree with you that he's going to be able to step into this role and he's going to get us to buy in. He's going to convince us. But until the movie happens,
Right.
it's a very, very hard sell in my own head just because I can't see it yet. I think he's going to have to show it to us before we can see it.
He could get so much from doing well in this movie. Like, I mean, awards. I mean, just like his name's out there afterwards.
I mean, he's already an Emmy winner, right?
Right.
But I mean, you're right. I mean, I think, Jeff, you're completely right. I think this is going to be an Oscar season kind of thing. With the big asterisk that you got a new director in Josh Gad in there, and maybe Josh Gad will do great, maybe he won't do great, but
I mean, supposedly the tone of the film is that it's very celebratory. It's not really like reveling in Chris Farley's downfall or what happened to him. I think it's really going to try to lift him up and celebrate his memory. Obviously, I'm curious who's going to play David Spade and who they're going to surround Paul with in this movie. I think it's fair to be skeptical, but yeah, I mean, well, I guess we'll see. But New Line paid a pretty penny for the package.
Now, here's the question I'm going to have, though. You talk about casting David Spade. Yeah, you got to get somebody in there to play David Spade. You can't have Chris Farley without David Spade. But I want to know who they're going to cast to play Patrick Swayze. Because
I was thinking that yesterday.
Any movie about Chris Farley and a celebration of his life has got to include the Chippendales sketch of Saturday Night Live. You got to have that. So who's going to play Patrick Swayze in that?
Got to be Hemsworth, right?
Yeah.
Or could it be Jake Gyllenhaal?
I was thinking, I was kind of thinking Julie.
Maybe.
He just played a Patrick Swayze role in Roadhouse. Maybe he can do it again. He's got the body for it right now.
As far as the other contenders, though, I mean, the only because I've talked to some comedy. I play basketball with a bunch of comedians, and we talked about the Hauser's casting as Farley. A lot of people thought Tim Dillon could do a good job, but I'm not really familiar with his work. I know he has a big podcast as well.
I mean, yeah, that could work out well too. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Harry's. You know, guys, in order to start the John Campea Show, I had to leave my high-paying corporate job in order to set myself up to be happier and enjoy more personal success. Because sometimes to get what you want, you have to challenge the status quo and blaze your own trail. And that's exactly what the folks at Harry's did. You see, at Harry's, they saw customers getting ripped off by questionable products in the shaving industry and decided to do something better. Harry's decided to pave their own road by making beautifully designed razors for a fraction of the price of the other big brands. Exceptional products, honest prices. That's Harry's. I have fallen in love with Harry's, from their foaming shaving gel that feels just luxurious on the skin, to their incredible razor that feels just as good in the hand as it does going over your skin. They've got rich, lathering, skin-softening body wash in scents like redwood, wildlands, and stone. You see, Harry's provides German-engineered blades made in their own factory that stay sharp longer. You can get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover for just $3 at harrys.com/Campea. Don't settle for the status quo. Blaze your own trail with Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/Campea. That's harrys.com/Campea for a $3 trial set. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Paul Walter Hauser is doing exactly what he deserves to be doing. He is ascending. And I think he's going to be great in Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. I think he's going to play great off him. And I can't imagine anybody playing Chris Farley. But if there's anybody out there who's got the ability to really pull it off, I think it's going to be him. Anyway, guys, whatever you guys think about all this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.